Hey, today we're going to look at using a drum rack in a different way. We're going to load it full of vocal samples to play a neat little vocal loop. Normally a drum rack is used to house a drum kit. Here's one we loaded earlier, and each of these slots has a simpler, which is Ableton sampler in it, holding some drum sounds. There we go. We're going to use a drum rack in a different way to house some vocal samples. So first of all, we're going to load a new MIDI track, and on it, from our browser over here, we're going to select drums and drop in an empty drum rack. So we go, there's an empty drum rack with no sounds on it as yet, and now we're going to populate that full of sounds. So if we go, we take a clip that I've downloaded off the internet already.
Yes, indeed. Both Don and Sue look like the kind of people you'd like to know, don't they? Of course, right now, they're dressed for their Friday dates.
Okay, that's a public information film from the 50s, I think. I'm going to drag that over into arrangement view and cut it up. And it's easier to cut up samples in arrangement view, which is why we've come over here. So first of all, we're going to look at a couple of different ways of cutting up this sample. So I quite like this beginning bit.
Yes, indeed. Both.
There we go. Yes, indeed. So I'm just going to grab the end of the sample and take it in a little bit. So it's
yes, indeed. Both.
And then I'm going to cut it off just there. So I dragged it by getting the square bracket and dragging the sample like that. I'm going to cut the clip by clicking on the line I want to cut it on and pressing Command E on a Mac or Control E on a PC. And if you look there, it's divided the clip. So I've got two separate clips. I'm going to do Command J to consolidate that clip, click on my drum rack, and drop that down into a slot on my drum rack.
Yes, yes, indeed.
I can now play it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes, indeed.
Excellent. I'm going to look for another bit to drop in there now.
Because right now they're dressed for their Friday dates.
Let's have that dressed for their Friday dates. I'm going to zoom in.
Their Friday dates. They're dressed for their Friday dates. Now they're dressed for their Friday dates.
That's around here. I need to clip, so I'm going to zoom in there, place my cursor on the line, do Command or Control E.
They're dressed for their Friday date.
Okay, it's quite an easy one to cut at the end there, so do Command E again. I'm going to consolidate that and drop it in there.
They're dressed for their Friday date.
Excellent. So there's a couple of other things we could do with clips. We could just cut a short little clip here. So if you highlight the whole clip and do Command or Control E, it cuts both ends at the same time.
Yes.
That's like a nice yeah. So let's drop that in. Let's maybe trim it ever so slightly so it's a bit shorter at the beginning. Fantastic. And consolidate it. Command J. Drop that into our drum rack. Now that clip.
Yes.
Because it's a short burst of sound that could be used in a more percussive way. Another way we could do something like that is, let's clip this one here. Maybe make that a little bit shorter. Do Command or Control E. And on this clip, we're going to reverse it. So instead of it sounding So we're going to reverse it by clicking on the clip, coming down here into the sample window, clicking the reverse button, and you look at changed it round. So let's drop that into the drum rack and hear how that sounds.
They're dressed for their Friday date.
Yes.
Okay, that one's a bit quiet, so let's turn that one up a bit down here using the volume control.
Yes.
Okay, so I can keep doing that. Another cool thing we can do is to stretch a sample. So let's have a look at that. So let's take something maybe from the end here.
Finishing touches. And neatness.
Take and neatness. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to do Command or Control E. just drag it over here. And now when I click on the sample, I'm going to click the warp button just up here. Let's even trim that a little bit tighter first. There we go. I'm going to click on the warp button. That's going to allow me to stretch the sample. So if I click over here and make another marker, so the marker here at the beginning of the sample, if I click over here and make another marker, I can now stretch this sample. You can see how it's stretching out on the screen. I can keep stretching it until the segment BPM here in the sample window gets to 999. That's like the maximum stretch you can get to. Okay. So let's just see how that sounds now. So I've stretched it right out like that.
And neat.
Okay, let's consolidate that. Now let's stretch it some more. Okay. Let's just maybe cut a little bit of that out there. Maybe reverse that. That's cool, we like that. Okay, let's drop that into our drum rack. Excellent. So you keep doing that until you get a load of messed up samples in your drum rack, and then you could maybe go and have an experiment.
Yes, indeed.
A daily routine of little finishing touches.
What can be quite helpful is to play along with a drum rack and just
Yes,
jam along.
indeed. Both Don and Sue look like the kind of people you'd like to... Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
A daily routine of little finishing touches.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. People you'd like to know. People you'd like to know. Yes, indeed. People you'd like to know. Yes, indeed.
Excellent. So you can mess around with that for ages, or you could make up a little MIDI pattern to play those things for you.
People you'd like to know.
Cleanliness and
Yes, indeed. People you'd like to know.
Cleanliness and
Yes, indeed. People you'd like to know.
Cleanliness and
Yes, indeed. People you'd like to know.
Cleanliness and
Yes, indeed.
Excellent. There you go. So have fun with that.